And now we welcome in our weekend sports anchor, Patrick Cunningham. 3 weeks left to go into the regular season. Pat, what games do you have your eye on?
Well, Thomas, let's actually stay with that matchup there.
Right.
It is, again, Lincoln Trail Prairie Land Conference Small Schools Division. I mean, it doesn't get better. 6-0 versus 6-0 rivals. Awesome. It's homecoming. Conference title on the line. So let's take a look into it. Winner controls their own destiny again for that conference title. Now Stark County on the road. So control of first place up for grabs. The Rebels, they have controlled this rivalry recently, winning the last 3 meetings. They beat the Princes twice in 2023, including a first-round playoff victory. Their offense, of course, can score plenty of points. Their defense is super underrated. They've given up more than 17 points just once this year, but they match up against a Princeville offense that is a great QB wide receiver connection in Jake Williams and Hunter Johnson. They found each other multiple times last week, including in a 35-point second quarter against South Fulton. Now, what's interesting here, Thomas, neither of these teams have played a one-score game since week 2. That was 5 weeks ago. So, you know, how are they going to respond? Again, you got all the lights, 6-0, 6-0, rivalry, homecoming, conference titles. How do these players respond tonight? They've both got a lot of playmakers. Who's going to step up and make the play? It'll be interesting.
It's always tough for teams who roll and dominate in the regular season, and then you play another great team, and obviously that game's going to be close. So, as you said, you know, who's going to make the big 3 money plays in crunch time to get a win?
Well, not only that, but like last year, they could easily face each other in the playoffs again.
Absolutely.
And so this is a good, you know, kind of bellwether game to get you ready for the postseason in about 3 weeks.
I'm looking forward to it.
Now, the second game takes us to the Big 12, a game that has big seeding implications between 2 likely playoff teams, Peoria Notre Dame and Bloomington. The Irish clinch eligibility with a win. Purple Raiders, they get a guaranteed playoff spot with a victory. The Irish, they lost their first 2 games in heartbreaking fashion, but they're now on a 4-game winning streak. Now in last week's 67-8 win.
67?
Yeah, they did. 67 points on Peoria Manual. Jack Henley finished with 3 scores. Quarterback Ben Mullins, he scored on both offense and defense. Now Bloomington themselves started 5-0, but they're trying to bounce back from their first loss of the season at the hands of Normal Community. In that game, Jordan Norton had 6 catches for 111 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Codron and the rest of the offense hoping to bounce back. Raiders, they won last year's game in a 1-score affair. Thomas, this is one of those games that's kind of a toss-up.
Absolutely. And just a quick shout-out to Peoria Notre Dame. I love those green jerseys.
Those green jerseys are classic and perfect time to pull those out when you're playing at Dozer Park. Now, the last game takes us back to the Lincoln Trail Prairie Land, this time, though, in the large school division. The Elmwood Brimfield Trojans at home against Macomb. That's a battle of 5-1 teams. Winner tonight locks up a guaranteed playoff spot. They're already both eligible, and they're both tied for second in the conference, right behind Farmington. The Trojans lost to the Farmers 2 weeks ago. That was a very surprising 40-0 shutout. But they did bounce back in a big way last week against Bureau Valley. They rushed for 263 yards in a 27-21 win. Big performances from quarterback Matthew Glenn and running back Bo Windish, who both scored twice. Now, Farmington, Macomb played Farmington last week, lost in overtime. If you're looking to play the common opponent game, that was a much closer game than Elmwood Brimfield's against them. The Trojans last year won by 44. I have a feeling that's going to be a lot closer this time around.
I would have to agree with you there. That's my first stop of the night. I can't wait to see it.
That is your first stop. You get to shoot that, and you get to shoot Farmington. But, I mean, out of our 7 weeks so far, this is probably our best lineup for this, and we've got a lot of really exciting games tonight, and be sure to check back in at 11 for highlights.
It makes sense. It's crunch time, 3 weeks to go. Every week it gets more meaningful, so we're looking forward to it.